Good morning, everybody. Sadika to all my Thai friends, and Salam alaikum to Indonesian friends, and to Cambodian. I have a challenge in pronouncing, but I still say welcome to His Excellency Kanchameta, and of course Dr. Volapon, all my special guests, and every one of you is my VIP. Everyone. And on stage today, I was thinking whether if I'm going to read my notes. There are a few pointers that I wanted to read, but at the same time I wanted to go candid. Just a very quick chat with Dr. Marcon, who said it there. I said, should I read my notes? He said, up to you. So anyway, my take about crowdfunding being the game changer all started when I was really looking at funding. When I read about crowdfunding, it is just too good to be real. And I decided to take my trip down to US and take a look at what is really, really happening. When I get over there, when I looked at whatever that's happening, it's really exciting, interesting, and they are real human beings, warm bodies, really exercising crowdfunding. And the success rate got me even more excited to look at crowdfunding beyond just American or the UK. Because when I turned around and looked at Asia at that point last year, and I keep hearing this term called global crowdfunding. I told some of them, I said, until Asia is in a game with America, UK, Europe, worldwide, then I think that is real crowdfunding. So what got me to think about crowdfunding being a game changer is that when I really get started on my work, when I start to go around the countries in Asia to talk about crowdfunding, I realize that there is so much that can be done. There is so much that could help a lot of people, whether if it's innovators, startups, any business, or even the communities. With crowdfunding, it is so powerful. The crowd called the shot. If the idea is something that the crowd wanted it to happen, they will all come together and say they want it to happen by contributing to that idea. When I started this whole entire effort in driving crowdfunding in Asia, it is really very, very uphill, and it is still very, very challenging. But I just don't want to give up. Many people say, it won't happen. It's unlikely because, in Singapore, we have plentiful of grants. We have 187, to be exact, different kinds of grants that's available. Singapore is rich. We don't need crowdfunding. So I said, okay, maybe Singapore don't need it right now. Let me get to other rest of the Asia country and looked at what could be possible in terms of crowdfunding, since I said to drive Asia crowdfunding. And when I stepped into countries like Thailand, when I stepped into countries like Indonesia, when I have a chance to get to know other rest of the countries around Asia, crowdfunding brings joy, brings hope. Or if I may quote, what Ibu Loli says to me is that it brings a ray of hope, light at the end of the tunnel for all the hard work that she put in to help the startups, the innovators, the researcher, the creative economy to find a space in the world scene. Today, it's no longer dependent on funding from investors or funding from banks, funding from traditional investors or funding from the typical finance products. If let's say the startup is very adamant, they are committed to creating what they want to create, it changed the whole entire landscape. And also hearing I like to also quote again Dr. Mark Horn, who told me that, as a investor, he himself, when he's not sure about that investment, he would politely talk to the guy, hey, you know what, there's this thing called crowdfunding, would you like to just try and get on crowdfunding platform? And if that project is crowdfunded, it goes to tell that innovation or that product have a chance of success. But of course, there's a lot more work to do. When I talk about, again, global crowdfunding is a game changer. It does change. It changed because of the people who wanted it very, very much. It changed because, the world or the crowd really wanted this whole thing to happen. It can be product. That's where you see a lot of people, getting onto different platforms. Like Kickstarters, Indiegogo. In the Singapore space, we have Crowdtivate, we have Crowdonomics. In Malaysia, we have Pitch In, we have Mindstarter. Indonesia, we have Ujakan. I believe they are here. We have Kitabisa, Patungan, Merka. They are all different kinds of crowdfunding platform. In Thailand, there are Sinwatana, there is Dreammaker. Cambodia, I believe they are, catching up a lot, but they have different ways of crowdfunding, but you're gonna see them in the scene. And today, crowdfunding is really borderless as in you could buy, support that idea because of internet and because of this whole thing about social media. And social media really changed this whole entire landscape in terms of crowdfunding. And crowdfunding is really not new. It's just like yesterday, His Excellency shared with me about crowdfunding. In the old days, it's like tong tin. And yeah, I said, yeah, tong tin. I do that too when I was young. And it's just that with online media, it just gets more exciting. And it no longer stops in where you are. Because of internet, because of the way this whole digital economy or this whole digital space is, generally, it just reach out to the whole world. And one very key thing that I also learned from Indonesia is that whatever that works here may not necessarily work somewhere else. But whatever that don't work there could be huge opportunity in other rest of the country. And I urge every single one of you, all right, to really give that chance to yourself to look into the crowdfunding space and have some fun. I like to quote the very first man who believed in me, Douglas Alanoff. He said, look, I had a few meetings with him with the local legal firm, some of the agencies here. He said, look, because when they talk about fraud, and he said, tell me which product or which financial investment have no risk. Every different financial investment have risk. And it's just a matter of whether you, who are the investors, are responsible to take this risk and decide how much do you want to play in this game of crowdfunding. And I like to hand, this whole space of crowdfunding in the good hands of every single one of you. And for me to stand up here today to run this summit, is extremely, extremely challenging, but I'm really enjoying it right at this very moment. And what really keep me grounded, I have in the room a pool of people from Asia Works. I really want to thank every single one of them because they really kept me grounded. They taught me this thing called compelling desire, which I have, solid belief, which I have, and effective action, I try my best. And, the iron will that every single investors and every practitioners here, all of you have it, and you all taught me what I should be doing for the whole entire Asia. And I really want to thank every one of you for giving me this chance to stand up here, and I love all of you. Thank you very much.